Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, May 1st, and I'm Kiki Thaxter. This week on Norwood News, the South Norwood Fishing Derby held its 36th annual event. Clayton Cheever has everything happening at the library this month, and the Haymakers for Hope is hitting the ring next week. All this and more coming up on this week's Norwood News. Last Sunday, Gemma Kitchen and Bar held a soft launch for friends and family to celebrate the debut of its new space, new menu, and continued history ahead of its official opening on Friday, May 1st.
January 6th was our first day of reno, and what we thought was going to be just a little facelift turned into an upstairs downstairs full-on rehab, I guess. Yeah, not a gut, because we don't want to get in trouble for saying that, but there was a lot of opinions, a lot of decisions, and surprisingly we agreed so many emotions. Surprisingly we agreed on everything except for the paint color of one thing, and I think that was it. Yeah, it was a fun process, and I'd like to say we'll do it again in like 15 years, maybe. Okay, 5.
I mean, I think we're just trying to blend into the community, add that extra little oomph to the community. Take what,
It's something completely unique to the community. It's not comparable to any other establishment here, so it gives people
little elevated experience. It's new to everybody. It's new to us. The kitchen's new to us. The bars are new to us. And then, once we get into the roll of it, then it's game on. 3, 2, 1.
Stay tuned to NCM for Norwood Digest, where Jack stopped by and talked with the owners, Joe Tropiano and Michelle Jewell. The Norwood Community Garden is looking for folks to get involved this gardening season. Mark Hoover reports from the Community Garden with one of its original members, John Churchill.
Well, we are here at another one of Norwood's hidden gems. Today our travels take us to the Norwood Community Garden, a terrific place if you like the outdoors air, if you like growing things, and maybe just some good company. I am pleased to be joined today by John Churchill, one of the original members of the Community Garden. John, for those that might not be too familiar with the Community Garden, why don't you tell us a little bit about its roots or history, so to speak?
Great, thank you. Thanks for having me, Mark. And the Norwood Community Garden goes back to 2012. We're on conservation land. Kind of the brainchild, our founder, visionary Susan Clare, got us started, and she's handed it off in such a way that it's just kept on growing and been organized in such a nice way. So our kind of mission, our mindset is we want to grow organic produce in an earth-friendly way. We want to grow community, and so we kind of have both of those hand in hand, a lot of commitment, a lot of engagement, enthusiasm, and we just kind of take it from there.
Yeah, it's a terrific place. I happen to be one of the gardeners as well, and I absolutely love it. John, as I mentioned, you're one of the original ones, one of the first ones here. Over that time, that 14 or some odd years since you've been here, what are some of the growth or expansion that you've seen up here?
Right, so the original 2012 garden had only 32 plots. That was 32 out of 32, and one has some connection to the schools in the area as well. But I would say that the biggest thing is we're almost 3 times as big. There's 90 plots, and we're just kind of growing into it. There's been some time where we've been trying to just kind of make do with adjusting to this new way of the garden, and I think we're finally ready to kind of make sure we're ready for years to come, and that's where we're just trying to get some interest and trying to see if we can add to the space in such a way that people want to get invested and join us.
Right. And some of the things that I've seen since I've been up here are, things like the new greenhouse that we've got there and the apple orchard, the fruit trees are up there. Tell us a little bit about like how those came into being, and again, as we kind of even think more outside the fence, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, in some sense, those are separate entities, and but this is a part of the Indian conservation land, and it's been great to see how the land has developed, and it just builds a nice kind of atmosphere, and we can enjoy that with the sunsets in the evening
it's beautiful up here.
The harvest. Yeah.
It is beautiful up here in the summer, for sure. It is one of the nicest views. I mean, for someone out there that might be watching this and they may say, I'd like to try my hand at this gardening thing, but I've never grown anything, or someone like myself that says, I can't even grow crabgrass. What do you say to that reluctant gardener about coming up here to try it?
For sure. I'd say it is a commitment, but I think that if you want to do it, you can do it. And I definitely leave a lot to be desired in my 14 years of experience here. We do have some master gardeners. Oof. They are great. They will talk with you. They will help you.
For sure.
Your plot is on your own. You have to take on that responsibility, but if you're willing to do that, it can work out, and we'd love to have you if you're willing to make that commitment.
Yeah. Well, John, you've convinced that person, to come and join the community garden. If that person, wanted some more information about the garden, or maybe even to apply for one of the plots, where do they go and what do they need to do?
The first place I point people to is the town pages, and if you do a search, you can go to find Norwood Community Garden on the town pages. All the specific information there, including the code of conduct and just the details about fees and such. And the email address would be Norwood MA Community Garden at gmail.com.
Well, John, I gotta say, this again is just a terrific place. It is a great spot, for folks to come on up, maybe plant a little bit, grow a little bit, and who knows, you might be able to brag about a tomato or two at your next block party. So, John, thanks so very much for telling us a little bit about our community garden. So, reporting from the community garden for Norwood News, I'm Mark Hoover.
When Norwood News returns, we hear from Dave Camposano and Haymakers for Hope. William Creamer delivers the school news, and Ron Marshalsea has the latest in sports.
Norwood Community Media has been serving the town of Norwood as its sole home for hyperlocal programming for the last 2 decades. Memorial, Veterans, and 4th of July parades, live sports games in the fall, winter, and spring. Year-round coverage of local government meetings, including live town meeting, selectmen, and school committee. Not to mention an extensive archive forever being added to for you to relive your favorite Norwood moments and memories. Norwood Community Media, continuing to do what we do best.
Last Saturday, South Norwood was all about reels and rods. The annual fishing derby drew a huge crowd, with kids of all ages casting their lines and eagerly waiting to see what they'd reel in. Always a highlight of the season, the event brought plenty of excitement, friendly competition, and a shared love of fishing to the community.
Hi, Michael Hissad down at the 36th Annual South Norwood Fishing Derby. We got Sam White and the crew from the rec department selling ducks in the river. We've got tiger trout, brown trout, golden trout, rainbow trout, brook trout, and there's some big ones in here today. So it's a beautiful day, a little windy, but no rain. Last year it poured, and we've got over 250 trout in there alone this year stocked. Should be a great event for Norwood and the surrounding communities. We've got from Martha's Vineyard already, Attleboro, Stoughton. It's just going to be a great event for Norwood.
The Morrill Memorial Library has more to offer than just books. Each month, Library Director Clayton Cheever shares the latest programs, events for all ages, and information on museum passes in his segment, Morrill Moment. Let's hear what's happening at the library in the month of May.
Greetings, library lovers. Welcome to the May Morrill Moment from the Morrill Memorial Library, Norwood's public library for everyone. I'm Clayton Cheever, your library director, and I use he, his pronouns. Let's get to it. The library is open 7 days a week, and in May we only have one holiday when we'll be closed Saturday, May 23rd through the following Monday of Memorial Day weekend. The week before Memorial Day is statistically our slowest week of the year, so we've chosen to do a big collection move in our children's department that will close the children's room on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, May 20th through the 22nd. Please plan accordingly. And enjoy discovering our children's picture and nonfiction books in their new locations when the room reopens on Tuesday, May 26th. We're very happy to be partnering with Norwood's First Congregational Church for a series of programs with artist-in-residence Jorge Santiago Arce. On Saturday afternoon, May 16th, Jorge will be presenting a unique exploration and celebration of Puerto Rican and Afro-Caribbean music and culture with a history of percussion. And on Wednesday evening, May 20th, Jorge will be presenting a bomba dance workshop. This class will be very welcoming for all dancers, including beginners, and is recommended for adults and teens. These free programs are funded by a grant from the Norwood Cultural Council, a local agency, which is supported by the Mass Cultural Council, a state agency, and the town of Norwood. Additional funding is being provided by the Library Endowment Fund. Registration is required for each individual program, so save your spots today. Every month, I enjoy highlighting something you can appreciate from the library from our website, norwoodlibrary.org. Last month, I highlighted our museum passes to help send you out into the world, and now I get to tell you how you can use our website to reserve a study room right here at the library. We currently have 2 study rooms and 1 single occupancy study pod that you can reserve for up to 2 hours at a time for 1 to 4 people. Need more? Just give us a call or stop by. We'll do our best to help you meet your needs. Now, some book recommendations. As we move deeper into spring, I've brought a set of books that explore memory, family, resilience, and the ways we carry our stories forward. This picture book is as tender as it is beautifully told. Flowers for Mama by Deborah Friedman follows a young boy preparing a special bouquet in honor of his mother. It's a gentle, heartfelt story about love, loss, and the small rituals that help us remember the people who shape us. The illustrations bloom right off the page, making it a wonderful read aloud for sharing. This next book celebrates the speed at which the present seems to fly by. The Blur by Min Le, with illustrations by Caldecott medalist Dan Santat, captures the universal feeling that childhood moves in a flash. It's warm, funny, and a little bittersweet, a perfect pick for parents watching our little ones grow faster than we can ever be ready for. Of course, growing up doesn't mean life gets simpler. It often gets messier, louder, and a whole lot funnier. And that's where Broken in the Best Possible Way by Jenny Lawson comes in. Lawson blends humor with honesty as she writes about mental health, chronic illness, and the absurdities of everyday life. It's a memoir that invites you to laugh, wince, and nod along, often all at once. Reminds us that being broken doesn't mean being defeated. For our last book, we move from personal memoir to sweeping literary fiction spanning generations and landscapes. The Last Quarter of the Moon was translated by Bruce Humes from the original Chinese text by Qi Zijian. This is a lyrical novel set among the Evenki people of northern China. Through the eyes of an elderly narrator, we witness a nomadic community confronting profound cultural and environmental change. It's atmospheric, deeply humane, and rich with a sense of place. This story lingers long after the last page. Whether you're looking for something tender, something funny, or something that transports you halfway around the world, we have books that will help meet you where you are. May you find the ability to slow down, look closer, and connect with the world around you. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We have lots of resources available to help you foster mental well-being. A couple of years ago, we met Dr. Ebony, and she shared with us these kits of journals and My Therapy cards that can be really helpful when you need a little inspiration to do the work. Each card in the deck has a prompt like, which habits do you have that protect you from being hurt by others? These and so many other great games, puzzles, tools, electronics, and more are available in our Library of Things. Visit our website and browse a collection from the Books and More menu to see what other treasures we have waiting for you. Now, before I sign off, I want to thank our dear friends of the library. Anytime the library is open, you can browse their ongoing book sale in the nook just by the door to our parking lot. Proceeds from the Friends sales provide support for library programs throughout the year, including the funds for crafts and supplies for programs for kids and teens. They also provided funds this month for reverse coloring for adults on the 7th, the puzzle race on the 9th, and micro adventures in Massachusetts with avid outdoor explorer, author, and journalist Allison O'Leary on May 19th. Please make sure you have an active membership in the Friends and support them whenever possible, as they make possible so much of what we present here. We are grateful for all the support. And that's a wrap for this Mora Moment. I'm Clayton Cheever, your guide through the wonders of the library, wishing you a marvelous May. We can't wait to see you at the library. Until next time, happy reading.
According to the American Cancer Society, around 9.7 million people die from cancer annually. Learn how one Norwood native is stepping into the ring to raise awareness and fight back.
Stepping into the ring on May 7th, Dave Camposano will bob and weave, cross and jab in an effort to knock out cancer.
I grew up in Norwood, and after high school, I joined the military, spent 16 years in the Army, and came out and furthered my education at Suffolk University. Haymakers for Hope is a nonprofit that takes everyday people off the street and puts them through a few months long training in boxing to fight in a sanctioned fight to generate significant money for cancer research.
Haymakers for Hope is hosting the fight in May and has hosted over 50 boxing events since 2011, raising nearly $35 million for numerous cancer-focused organizations. No stranger to adrenaline-charged causes, after his military service, Camposano founded 22 Mohawks, an organization that specializes in military and first responder suicide awareness.
I'm a huge advocate for adrenaline-producing and high-impact sports like parachuting and boxing. And Haymakers for Hope, really fills that void for me personally, but it also gives purpose, right? There's purpose behind it. So I'm able to get in and get some training in and raise funds for Hunter 7 Foundation while I'm actually getting in a good workout and, having fun.
Camposano is fighting for the Hunter 7 Foundation, whose mission is to honor the service and sacrifice of military veterans by tirelessly working towards a future where they can lead healthy and fulfilling lives. Dave's been training for the main event at Muscle and Flow Gym in Milton. Head boxing coach Edwin Frias talks about getting Dave ready for the bout.
Coaching Dave has been an honor. I'm lucky to be in the position that I am, that I am able to support folks who are trying to get better at their craft. And for whatever reason, we magnetize the people that come into our lives, and you don't get to pick that. So I've been very blessed to have the people come into our circle and, be in openness to training. And that's one of the harder parts is you're blessed when you get students that are open to training, that are open to being a canvas and, connect together off of that.
Camposano will step into the ring on May 7th at the MGM Music Hall on Lansdowne Street in Boston. To get tickets or help Dave raise some money, check out the Haymakers for Hope website.
I mean, this has been a great ride for me. Getting to train with Coach Frias at Muscle and Flow Gym in Milton has just been an absolute outstanding experience. It's changed my life, and it reminds me that, elevating your heart rate to max every day is really puts you in a position to, be grateful that you're alive and doing great things.
Now let's toss it over to William Creamer for the latest in school news.
I'm William Creamer, and I'm a junior at Norwood High School. Let's check out what's happening in our Norwood schools. In Norwood High School news, the annual Pops concert will be held Friday, May 8th in the NHS gym. This is a special concert fundraiser that supports the Parent Music Association's scholarships that help the music students each year. This year, they are proud to welcome some of the Coakley Middle School students. Tickets are $10 for a table seat and $5 for general admission. The brand new Coakley Middle School auditorium traded its usual school day hum for something much more electric. The room was transformed into a kaleidoscope of swirling colors and rhythmic footwork as the 5th and 7th graders got a front row seat to the performance that they won't soon forget. The stars of the show were the Hispanic Flamenco Ballet, a world-renowned touring company that specializes in more than just dance. They bring the heart and soul of Latin America and Spanish culture right to the stage. Founded in 2005, the Hispanic Flamenco Ballet is a non-profit organization that specializes in Hispanic heritage dances. Their mission is to show the roots of these cultures, moving from the passionate flamenco of Spain to the high-energy rhythms of the Caribbean and South America. From the moment the first guitar string was plucked, Coakley students weren't just watching a show, they were a part of it. The performance was designed to be completely immersive, with the highlight of the day being the incredible engagement between the performers and the students. The dancers didn't stay on the stage, they invited 5th and 7th graders to join in. Coakley students rose to the challenge, trying out some of the iconic dance moves themselves. The auditorium echoed with students singing along and cheering as their classmates attempted the boleristas, or tried to keep up with the fast-paced samba. For the students at CMS, it wasn't just an assembly. It was a high-energy masterclass in passion and heritage. It's not every day that the school stage feels like a trip across the globe, but for a few hours, the Hispanic Flamenco Ballet made it happen. Students at the Cleveland School tapped their imaginations to create huge murals throughout the school. Artists from the Tape Art Enrichment Program worked with students to design, collaborate, and build their visions with tape. Working together can sometimes be challenging. Fortunately, the Cleveland School has many students who exemplify the importance of cooperation. This week, these students were honored at the Character Strong Assembly as role models. The 3rd graders at the Oldham School, my old school, celebrated March Madness with a battle of the books. They started with 16 books, all focused on the character strong traits. At the end, the winner was, not surprisingly, The Day the Crayons Quit. The Prescott School launched a new ST Math Challenge for April through May. Each grade level is being tracked for gaining percentages in ST Math by completing puzzles. The averages are totaled for each grade level, and for each percent earned, that grade level gets a petal on a flower bulletin board. Gigi is watering their garden and looking to see who grows the most. Speaking of Gigi, the students celebrated Gigi Day the day before April break. Gigi came in for a visit and surprised everyone in the classrooms. Students participated in Gigi events, like creating a Gigi card or partnering with a friend to help them solve their puzzles. We even had some students and staff dressed like a penguin to celebrate this special day. Thank you, Gigi, for visiting the Prescott. The Norwood Public Schools Food Services purchased brand new cafeteria tables for the Callahan School. The old tables were more than 10 years old and needed to be replaced. The new tables have Norwood and Callahan logos on them. Students enjoy them very much, and they are working together to keep them nice and clean. The students and staff at the Willett Early Childhood Center wrapped up their Read Across America journey with one of the most exciting days ever. The community dressed to impress and walked the reading red carpet to receive their awards. We were visited by some very special celebrity guests, like Gigi the Penguin from ST Math, who was also celebrating their birthday. We ended the journey with our very own version of the Masked Reader. Students heard some of their favorite Willett grown-ups and had so much fun singing, dancing, and guessing who was hiding in the costumes. It was such a great journey and so much fun to celebrate as a community. The Little Mustangs have been very busy getting their hands dirty while exploring the wonderful world of plants. Throughout the week, they discovered what plants need to grow and learned to identify their various parts. They even found that some vegetables, like carrots, play hide and seek by growing underground with only their green tops visible. The highlight for these budding botanists was a mystery container that left everyone surprised when the real carrot was pulled straight from the dirt. In addition to learning about root vegetables, the students developed their fine motor skills by planting carrots in Play-Doh and exploring seeds within a sensory bin. The classroom was also buzzing with plant-themed crafts as the children began sowing flower seeds. They will nurture these seedlings indoors until they are big and strong enough to be moved to the Little Mustangs garden. Stay tuned for more growing updates. And finally, there will be an early childhood fair on Saturday, May 9th from 10 to 12, rain or shine, at the Balch School. This event will feature the children's music band Rockabye Beats. Stop by for food, drinks, and crafts, and meet with many early childhood organizations. That wraps up this week's school news. Thank you to all the teachers who keep us in the loop with their updates. It really helps us see the wonderful things happening in our schools. Reporting from Norwood School News, I'm William Creamer. And now, here's Ron Marshalsea with the latest in sports.
I'm Ron Marshalsea, and this is your sports update. The baseball team is now 7-3 after losing to Natick, but securing wins against Hopkinton, Medfield, and Dedham. Sam Larkey and Ryan Grenham pitched the shutout, with Larkey going for 5 innings and Grenham finishing it off against the Marauders. Both Grenhams, Caden Sheehan, Dylan Begley, Sam Larkey, Anthony Canidi, Kevin Roach, and Gus Griffin all had the bat swinging for the Mustangs, with Jaden Batista getting on base with a walk. The boys head to Dover Sherburne Monday, May 4th at 3:45. The softball team had a tough stretch of losses to Hopkinton, Medfield, and Dedham, but look to get back in the win column when they host Medway next Tuesday the 5th at 4:30. The boys lacrosse team got a massive win over Dedham on Monday afternoon, 16-1. John Lynch was the leading goal scorer for the Mustangs, with Owen McDougall, Chase Chastanet, Brady Carrero, Max Conley, Rocco Ferrioli, and Matt Kickless adding the rest of the goals for Norwood. The Mustangs sit at 5-2, and as of recording this sports update, they have not gone up against Medway on the 30th, but we'll let you know what happens on the next sports update. The girls lacrosse team is 4-4 after a loss to Hopkinton and a win over Dedham 12-11. Allie Mannering got the player of the game, getting 14 saves and 7 clears during the Dedham game. Goals were scored by Nora Kidd, Allie O'Neill, Emma Penza, Ella Petrillo, and Nora Staun. The Mustangs also have not played Medway as of recording this. The boys tennis team lost to Hopkinton, Medfield, and Dedham this week, but are heading to DS on the 4th at 4:30. The girls tennis team gets another win on the year, beating Ashland 3-2, but losing to Medfield and Dedham this week. They will host DS on the 4th at 4 o'clock. The boys and girls track teams both lost to Westwood this week, but are right back at it next week when they host Ashland on May 5th at 4:30. And that is all I have for this sports update. I'm Ron Marshalsea, and Norwood News will be right back after this break.
With Norwood Community Media's new website launch, we want to make sure you, the viewer, does not miss a single minute of Mustang action or Norwood events. The URL is the same, just head to norwoodcommunitymedia.org, and there you'll find our brand new and refreshed website. From there, if you know something is being broadcasted live and you want to watch it, just click the watch button on the community or government channels and it will take you right there. It is important to note Norwood Community Media will very rarely go live on our school and sports channel, so if you are looking for something live that's a government meeting, click the watch button here, and for every other live event, click here. We hope everyone enjoys our website and are able to find what they need way quicker than before. Stay tuned to NCM's channels and socials to stay in the know about all the new facets of our new website.
The Board of Selectmen met this week and started off their meeting with appearances and introductions from David Tuttle and Norm Boschman, who expressed their interest for the Community Preservation Committee, and Jack Collamaria, who expressed his interest for the Norwood Cultural Council. The board voted unanimously to appoint all 3 individuals to their respective positions. Following that, Fire Chief Tim Bailey provided an update on the department's recent call volumes, ongoing concerns related to mutual aid, and the status of the ladder truck. Police Chief Chris Padden also addressed the board, offering departmental updates and discussing the anticipated impact on Norwood from the 2026 World Cup events at Gillette Stadium.
We're also in the process of preparing for World Cup, which is going to affect us here in Norwood along Route 1. I went to the Joint Terrorism Task Force meeting up at Gillette Stadium. I think it's about 2 weeks ago now. A lot of discussion there in regards to terrorism threats, generalized criminal threats. Human trafficking is potentially going to be a big thing. We have a lot of hotels here in Norwood, and there's a thought that a lot of people traveling, that there will be a lot of people bringing people along and trafficking them. So we're preparing for that. We're going to have an increased volume of folks, and we're going to have to support that. This is a worldwide. The events are all going to be looking at Massachusetts. They're all going to be looking at Foxborough, and they're looking for 600 police officers per game, and it requires community cooperation. So that's another thing that the police department will be supporting.
Later in the meeting, the board discussed the Kofsky closing process, the Housing Advisory Committee, and the Comprehensive Plan implementation process. The Board of Selectmen will meet again on May 19th. The Board of Health met at the Senior Center Monday morning, where the board gave a notice of aerial larval control application that is going on in town, a community health assessment that they invite all residents and workers in Norwood to take. A discussion on the regulation of kratom, as well as notifying the public of the upcoming rabies clinic on Saturday, May 2nd from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. You do need to call ahead to schedule a time slot for the rabies clinic. The board announced there will be a public forum at the next meeting to hear from the community about their thoughts on kratom, as the board looks to move forward to banning it outright in the future. Then the public health nurse and environmental inspector gave their reports, followed by the director's update. Progress Norwood hosted their annual Earth Day celebration and cleanup last Sunday, and people of all ages stepped out to make a difference. From schools to parks, Norwood showed up strong for Earth Day 2026. Well, that's a wrap for this edition of Norwood News. For the latest updates and stories, be sure to follow Norwood Community Media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks for tuning in, and from all of us here, have a great weekend.